Hi there, my name is Trevor Covington, and this is a quick video to show you how WestlawNext can save you time and in essence save you money and help you win more cases. So the first thing I want to show you is this smart box up here at the top of the screen. If you're ever having trouble finding anything on WestlawNext, just remember, when in doubt, type it out. So if you want to pull up Miranda v. Arizona, just type in Miranda v. Arizona. Hit enter, and it should pull it up for you. If you want to pull up a certain database or a certain publication, when in doubt, type it out. So if I want to pull up the Oklahoma Law Review, I just type it in the box there and then click on it from the drop down. Same thing with Oklahoma cases. I want to pull up the Oklahoma Supreme Court cases. Again, when in doubt, type it out. If I want to pull up a citation, again, just type it out, 100 US 1. And then if I want to throw in another citation, just put a semicolon in between them. I'm going to do a statute. Hit search. And it pulls both of those up for me. And then from here, I can select both of these. And then you can drag and drop them into your folder up here on the right. Let's see how good my drag and drop skills are. And now, instead of having to print them out and throw them up on a shelf, I've just got them here in my electronic folder. I can access it from any computer or phone. I'm good to go. Now when you're ready to run a search, you can do a Boolean terms and connector search just like on Westlaw Classic. If you click on Advanced, you can actually see all the different terms and connectors you can use. And you can also just do a plain language or a Google search. So I can just type in age discrimination and hiring. And I can search Oklahoma Supreme Court cases for that, or I can search all content. I'm going to search everything. Hit search. And in just a matter of seconds, I've searched basically everything on WestlawNext. And notice I have my jurisdiction set for federal. I can change that if I want to, but since this is a federal issue, I'm just going to keep it set there. And then over here on the left, I can see exactly how many cases I pulled up, how many statutes, how many regulations, how many secondary sources. And it looks like I actually spelled hiring wrong, so I can fix that just by clicking on the link here. And then you can scroll down and you can see the top results from each of those 14 different content sets. And then if you want to look at just the cases, you just click View All 6,741 cases. Pull those up. And then from here, you can really refine your results by using the filters on the left. So if you want to look for a certain term, you can search within these cases for a certain term. You can also narrow by jurisdiction. Just click the plus sign to the left at federal. Notice I can narrow these to the 30 U.S. Supreme Court cases dealing with age discrimination and hiring. I can also narrow it down to the 10th Circuit, which is where I'm located, and see the 125 10th Circuit cases that deal with age discrimination and hiring. And then from here, I can sort these by relevance, by date, by most cited, or by most used. And then we can quickly scroll down, read through these cases, see if they're exactly what we're looking for. This one right here looks good. It's dealing with age discrimination, talking about a pattern or practice. So I can just click into it. And you'll notice at the top of pretty much every case on WestlawNext, you're going to have editorial enhancements. So here we got what's called the synopsis, and this is where attorney editors read through the case and they lay out for you exactly what happened in the case, who the parties are, who the judge was, and what the holding was. So I can quickly look here and see that, hey, the plaintiffs didn't win here. They failed to prove that there was age discrimination. And then I can scroll down a little bit further. and I can see the head notes. And this is where attorney editors have pulled out every legal issue from the case. They've created a head note for it. I can quickly see all the legal issues in this case, kind of like reading the Cliff Notes. And then each one of these legal issues is classified in our topic and key number system, where we have roughly 100,000 different legal issues. And then every one of these head notes is classified under one of those 100,000 legal issues. So if I want to find a case in any jurisdiction that deals with the same issue as this head note, I just click on the key number over here. I can quickly find it. Now, head note 3 here deals with a prima facie case for unlawful discrimination. And then if I click on the 3 here, I can actually go down into the case itself and see where it talks about that issue. And if I like this analysis, I can just highlight it, let go. It brings up this nice pop-up window where I can save this, what we call a snippet or section of the case, to my folder. I can add a note. I can highlight it in whatever color I want. And then I can also do a copy with reference. And I love this feature. So what it allows me to do is take that quote, put it in my brief or my document, whatever I'm working on, and then also cite it with whatever kind of citation format I'd like. So I can choose standard, which is Blue Book. I can also do Allwood. I can do the Westlaw format, which is what you had on Westlaw Classic. And then I can also narrow it to specific state citation format. And I'm in Oklahoma, so I'm going to select that. And then I just take copy with reference. It adds that quote to my clipboard. And then I can just go into my Word document or whatever I'm working on, do a Control-V or right-click and paste, and I've got that quote with a pinpoint cite in Oklahoma citation format. And if you click on this clipboard here, you can actually go to Merge Formatting, and you can match the format of the document you're pasting into. So you get your quote, you get your pinpoint cite, and you are ready to go. Now, also with this case, you can click on the Filings tab, and instead of just seeing the judge's opinion, you can see all this wonderful attorney work product that went into that opinion. So you can see the briefs and the motions. And if you're dealing with a similar issue, a similar type of case, it might be really helpful for you to go in and look at some of these briefs and these motions, because maybe you can use them as a foundation to build your own brief or your own motion from. Now I'm going to go up here and I'm going to hit search again to get back to my search results. And next thing I want to cover really quickly is secondary sources. I love secondary sources because this is where you have experts that have already analyzed this area of age discrimination in hiring for you. And then they've written a law review article or a treatise about it, where they've tried to lay it out as simply as they can. And so I love to take the work that they've already done and then build on it. You'll notice our first results, an ALR article. Love ALR. I like to call it already done legal research, because we got 348 pages of analysis of this Age Discrimination and Employment Act. And I can just go down through this table of contents, find the section dealing with hiring, and boom. I've got a bunch of different cases where the courts found that somebody violated this act. And so it gives me a good idea of whether or not my case is going to fly in court. And then if we go back to those results, another thing I want to point out to you is the filters. Again, these filters are incredibly helpful for letting you hone in on exactly what you're looking for. So if you're looking for a specific aspect of age discrimination in hiring, you can search within all these different secondary sources for a certain aspect of that. And while I'm looking over here, I notice an AmJur proof of facts. I love AmJur proof of facts because it walks you step by step through the litigation process. So you'll notice here it gives me an overview of this act, shows me the discriminatory practices that are actionable under the act, shows me the defenses I need to consider, takes me through the pleadings, burden of proof, remedies, takes me through discovery, gives me a model interrogatory, gives me a checklist to follow, goes through testimony, and then I can click into this checklist and see exactly what I need to do to bring one of these claims against somebody. So I love amateur proof of facts because it walks me step by step through how to bring one of these claims. And then again, going back to these filters on the left, one of my favorite filters for secondary sources is select a publication name, because we had thousands of different secondary sources, and I might just be interested in a few. And this allows me to hone in on those specific secondary sources. So let's say I'm really interested in causes of action. I really like that secondary source, so I'm going to select that from the drop-down. I can see that there are 9 articles relating to age discrimination in hiring from causes of action. And then let's say I also want to see if there's anything from Oklahoma. I notice there are a couple of law reviews, so I'm going to go to the Oklahoma Law Review. I'm going to hit filter. And now instead of looking at thousands of different secondary sources, I've got 15 secondary sources, either from causes of action or the Oklahoma Law Review, to work with. And causes of action is very similar to amateur proof of facts. Just walks you step by step through the litigation process, gives you a prima facie case, what the elements are, the defenses, burden of proof, remedies, gives you a sample complaint. So if you're looking to put together a complaint, it gives you a nice little sample that you can modify and put to work for you. Now, one last thing I want to show you is here on the home page, and it's trial court documents and also briefs. They both work pretty similar. I'm just going to show you trial court documents. Now, out here in Oklahoma, one of the top attorneys is named Clark Brewster. And let's say that I'm working on a case and I remember that Clark had a case just like this. And I'm like, man, I wonder how Clark put together his motion for summary judgment on that case. Well, I can easily pull it up using trial court documents. So, clicked on trial court documents. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this advanced link. And this is what I clicked on earlier to pull up that terms and connectors sheet. Well, it also brings up a bunch of templates that you can just fill in the blank and create really advanced searches. So I'm going to go down here to attorney. I'm going to type in Clark space /2 space Brewster. And what I'm using is this / n connector for within 2 terms or words. So I'm saying I want Clark within 2 words of Brewster. So I'm leaving room for 1 middle name, 1 middle initial. And then I'm going to scroll down, and notice I can select exactly what type of trial court document I want from Clark. So if I want to see his complaints, or if I want to see his motions to compel, his motions for summary judgment, I can select any of those. I can also go down and look at criminal trial court documents. So a pretty broad selection there. I'm interested in motion for summary judgment, so I'm going to check that box. Notice it's actually creating that search for me up here in the smart box. So if I want to go back and run that search on my own later, I can. It's pretty advanced, so it's much easier for me to just use this advanced link to put it together. I'm going to hit search. And then I'm just going to quickly look through all these different documents dealing with motions for summary judgment by Clark Brewster until I find what I want. Click into it. And one thing I want to point out to you really quickly is up here at the top you've got a PDF image. If you click on that image, you can actually see a scanned image of the motion for summary judgment that Clark submitted to the court. So I can see exactly how he lays out his table of contents and index of authorities. I can see how he puts together his background facts, and then how he actually goes through and does the analysis in his motion, which can be incredibly helpful. And then you can also click on the Filings tab, go in and see all the other filings associated with this case. So if I want to see how Clark answered the complaint, I can click on the answer. And then also keep an eye out for this Related Opinions and Dockets tab, because this is where you can actually go in and see the judge's opinion for this case or the docket to see what actually happened. So if I want to see if Clark actually got this motion granted, I can go in here to the docket and see what happened. So I can see here's the motion for summary judgment. Here is the response. And then if we go up a little bit more, we can see that the judge granted in part and denied in part that motion for summary judgment. And then we can also go up here and see what eventually happened to this case, and we can see that it's settled. So I hope you can see how those trial court documents can be really helpful if you're looking for a nice motion for summary judgment or a nice complaint to build your own from. And those are just a few things that will save you time, save you money, and help you win more cases on WestlawNext. Thanks for your time, and if you need to get a hold of me for anything, please feel free to give me a call at 918-208-7001 or shoot me an email at covingtontrevor@gmail.com. And thanks again.